The consortium of 7 stars had ruled the galaxy for 12,000 years. Their massive warships traveled between worlds like metal gods. They collected taxes from 1 million planets. They crushed anyone who refused to bow. The 7 elder races believed they were the true masters of creation. They had never known fear. They had never faced anything they could not destroy. Then the humans arrived. At first, the consortium laughed at these strange creatures from the forgotten edge of the galaxy. Humans were weak. They lived short lives. Their bodies broke easily. Their single planet held nothing of value. The elders decided to ignore them completely. Earth was marked as a primitive world on their star maps. No one bothered to visit. But humans were curious creatures. They built ships. They reached beyond their small blue world. Within 300 years, they had touched a dozen nearby systems. They met other species. They traded. They learned. And slowly they grew stronger. Ambassador of the Empire watched the human delegation enter the great hall of the consortium station. His 4 eyes studied them carefully. These soft creatures had requested a meeting with the council. They wanted to discuss trade agreements and territorial boundaries. Found them amusing. Their leader was a female with dark hair and calm eyes. She showed no fear standing before the 7 most powerful beings in the galaxy. "You ask for much," the ambassador said, his voice booming through the chamber. "Your species controls only 17 systems. We control 17,000. Why should we negotiate with insects?" The human woman smiled. Her name was Admiral Wei. She had commanded human fleets for 40 years. She had seen battles that would break most minds. But today she carried no weapons. Today she came with words. "We ask only for fair treatment," she said. "We wish to exist peacefully alongside the great powers of this galaxy. We offer friendship and cooperation." The representatives of the 7 races exchanged glances. The delegate, a being of living crystal, made a sound like breaking glass. It was laughter. "Friendship," they repeated. "What can humans offer us? Your technology is primitive. Your military is weak. Your worlds are poor. You have nothing we want." Admiral kept her smile. "We have something very valuable. We have information." The chamber grew quiet. Information was the true currency of power. Wars had been fought over secrets. Empires had fallen because of hidden knowledge. "What information could primitives possess?" asked the high priest, his pale face showing mild interest. "We know what sleeps beneath our world," Admiral said. "We know what your ancient records have tried to erase. We know about the first guardian." The silence that followed was absolute. Felt his blood turn cold. The delegate stopped glowing. Even the high priest, who claimed to fear nothing, went very still. "That is a myth," finally said, but his voice shook. "Is it?" Admiral pulled out a small device. She pressed a button. Above the table, a hologram appeared. It showed deep underground tunnels beneath Earth. It showed something massive sleeping in the darkness, something older than the stars themselves. "Our scientists found it 200 years ago," she continued. "We have studied it, we understand what it is, and we know how to wake it." The delegate stood suddenly. "This is impossible. The Guardians were destroyed. Our ancestors made sure of that. They hunted them across the universe. They killed them all." "Almost all," Admiral corrected. "One survived. One found a young planet at the edge of the galaxy. One buried itself deep and went to sleep. It has been waiting for millions of years, waiting for something to wake it up." High Admiral, the military commander of the consortium, slammed his fist on the table. "You lie. This is a trick, a desperate attempt to frighten us into giving you what you want." Admiral shook her head slowly. "I am not lying, and I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to warn you. The Guardian is waking up on its own. The energy from our expanding civilization has disturbed its sleep. Our scientists estimate we have less than 50 years before it fully awakens." "Then we will destroy it," declared. "We will send 1,000 ships. We will burn your planet to ash." "You could try," Admiral said calmly. But our records show what happened when your ancestors tried to kill the last guardian. They lost 300,000 ships, they destroyed 400 worlds, and in the end they only managed to put it to sleep, not kill it. They could not kill it. The council members looked at each other. Fear was spreading through them like poison. The Guardians were creatures from the beginning of time. They had been born when the universe was young. They had shaped galaxies with their thoughts. They had created stars with their will. The ancient races had united to fight them. It had taken 1,000,000 years and cost trillions of lives. "What do you want?" the high priest asked quietly. Admiral turned off the hologram. "We want peace, real peace. We want to be treated as equals. We want the harassment of our colonies to stop. We want fair trade agreements. And we want your scientists to work with ours." "Work with you on what?" "On finding a way to keep the Guardian asleep forever, or finding a way to communicate with it when it wakes. Either option requires cooperation. Either option gives the galaxy a chance to survive." The negotiations lasted for weeks. The consortium had no choice. They could not risk the awakening of a guardian. They gave humans everything they asked for. Treaties were signed. Trade agreements were made. Human colonies were officially recognized. For the first time in 12,000 years, the consortium treated another species as true equals. But Admiral knew the truth. The Guardian was not just waking up slowly. It had already awakened 3 months ago. It had spoken to her in dreams. It had shown her things that no human had ever seen. It had told her the real reason it came to Earth. The Guardian had not fled to Earth after losing a war. It had come to Earth on purpose. It had been watching humanity grow for millions of years. It had guided their evolution from the shadows. It had protected their world from asteroids and cosmic disasters. Earth was not just a hiding place. Earth was a nest. And humanity was not just a random species. Humanity was the Guardian's children. The 7 elder races had made a terrible mistake when they ignored Earth. They had not realized that the primitives they laughed at carried something ancient in their blood, something that connected them to the most powerful being in the universe. 6 months after the treaty was signed, the Guardian fully emerged from beneath the Pacific Ocean. It rose like a mountain coming to life. It was larger than any creature ever recorded. Its body was made of something that was not quite matter. It glowed with light older than the oldest stars. Ships from across the galaxy gathered to watch. They kept their distance. They remembered the old stories. The Guardian looked up at the stars. It stretched limbs that had not moved in millions of years. And then it did something unexpected. It spoke, not with sound but with thought. Every being in the galaxy heard its voice inside their minds. "My children have grown strong," the Guardian said. "They have reached for the stars as I always knew they would. They are curious and brave and full of wonder. They are everything I hoped they would become." The message continued. "I am not your enemy. I am not a weapon. I am a parent who has watched from the shadows for too long. The wars of the past are over. The ancient conflicts are forgotten. I have no desire for revenge. I have no interest in conquest. I only want to see my children take their place among the stars." Then the Guardian turned its attention to the consortium fleet watching from orbit. Its voice became harder. "But hear me well. Harm my children and I will remember. Threaten their worlds and I will respond. The old ways are finished. The galaxy belongs to all who live in it, not just to those who conquered first. Treat each other fairly. Share the stars or face the consequences." The Guardian sank back into the ocean, but everyone knew it was not sleeping anymore. It was watching. It was waiting. It would protect humanity forever. The balance of power in the galaxy changed completely that day. The consortium still existed, but their arrogance was gone. They treated humans with careful respect. They included human representatives in every major decision. They shared technology freely. They opened their borders to human traders and explorers. Other species, the ones who had been crushed and conquered, found new hope. If the humans could stand equal to the great powers, perhaps they could too. Revolutions began on 100 worlds. Old empires started to crumble. New alliances formed. The galaxy was changing. Admiral retired from the military. She spent her remaining years on a small farm outside Beijing. Sometimes, late at night, she would walk down to the ocean. She would stand at the edge of the water and feel the presence deep below. The Guardian always knew when she visited. It would send her warm feelings of gratitude and pride. She had done well. She had protected her people without firing a single shot. She had bluffed the most powerful empires in the galaxy using nothing but courage and information. She had given humanity a future among the stars. And deep beneath the waves, ancient eyes watched over a species that was just beginning to understand its true potential. The Guardian was patient. It had waited millions of years. It could wait millions more, but it would always be there, watching, protecting, loving. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Never ignore the primitives on forgotten worlds. Never assume you know everything about the universe. Because sometimes, in the most unexpected places, something ancient and powerful is waiting. Something that will change everything. Humanity had found their guardian, and the galaxy would never be the same.